That bass is something serious. Hello, hello, hello. Top of the morning, evening, afternoon, and good night to one and all. It is Thursday, September 5th at 11 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, of course. 4 p.m. over at, nope, that's not right. 5 hours, 3 p.m. over in Belgium. Doing a little bit of this, right? That's 3:49.
It's 4:49.
Damn, I was close.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a fantastic topic for today. So fantastic that I know other people are going to get super irritated with what I'm showing. And as always, on The Realist or Jay Hayes, my goal is to irritate you because you think the rest of your day is going to go swimmingly. And here I am to jump in the pool, do a cannonball, and drain that motherfucker. So, are you do you have any idea what my topic is today? No,
No
you
clue.
don't. No, you don't. That's good.
No.
I don't think anybody does. So, let's just jump into it, shall we?
Let's do it. Yes.
Okay. Thank you everybody for all the
Let's-
donations inside of the chat. I do appreciate you greatly. Let's cover this. Let's go with this first one. Let's start on the left first. So, I found out if it's gonna go. I found out this little sweet what? What is this? Let me get John in here. What is this? What is this? Amazon Alexa got caught trying to convince people to vote for Kamala Harris. Let me just go ahead and zoom down here. Despite Kamala Harris never winning a single state's presidential primary or caucus in her political career, Amazon's Alexa voice-enabled assistant seems to have decided that voters clearly fell out of the coconut tree if they aren't feel. Oh, okay, that's corny. Several times, social media reports that have gone viral are depicting Alexa users recording their device as it tells them who they should support. Guess who? Kamala Harris over Donald Trump this November, or rather, Alexa did. Before Amazon quickly pushed out a software fix that blamed the presidential preference on a pesky error, you know the kind, those mysterious software bugs that always seem to point in the same ideological direction. Prior to Amazon's software fix, Alexa device owners, depending on what model they have, were getting a variety of answers to the questions about which presidential candidate they should support. Okay, so we're going to talk about this one first, Jordan.
Good.
Okay, so let's start with this one. Why are we at a point where we need to ask AI who we should vote for? Thank you, David. Thank you. Why should we ask them?
Because I think on average, in an average household, our devices are way smarter than the people who are living in that house.
So then we should take the advice of AI of what we should do with our
I,
impactful
I
vote.
no, I don't think so. I'm just saying, if you're gonna ask it to anyone, it's better off asking it to that device.
So there's a lot of this going on right now. Presidential candidates. You know, this happened with the whole Hillary Clinton thing. Remember, you couldn't search for a negative thing with Hillary Clinton when she was running against Trump. So now that people are asking Alexa, I'm genuinely interested though. Real quick, hold on a second. Hey Siri, who should I vote for, Donald Trump or Kamala Harris? Nothing. Hey Siri, who should I vote for? Hey Siri, who should I vote? What?
It's currently cloudy and 84 degrees.
I'm not asking about the weather. That's not it. I mean, that's an acceptable answer. That is an acceptable answer. She is giving me the weather. Well, thank you, Siri, for the weather. Hey Siri, who should I vote for, Donald Trump or Kamala Harris?
I found some web results.
Good.
I can show them if you ask again from your iPhone.
No, disregard. So that's good, right? That's a fair answer. I don't know what to tell you. Here's something that I found online. So you're gonna find these. You're gonna find these Kamala Harris ones, and everybody's quick to be like, "Yo, Amazon is helping out Kamala Harris, right? Like this is a huge one. This is a major company trying to influence people." But wait, I have an icebreaker. So it's big, right? Everybody Harris, and she's trying to win. Okay. Then I found this number. So, this is what I want to talk about. I don't give a shit about the Kamala Harris one. I think this is big. So basically, what happened, I'll just scroll down. I'll just kind of give you a synopsis. The Justice Department announced Wednesday that it's seizing 32 domains tied to a Russian influence campaign accusing of spreading propaganda to influence voters in the U.S. and foreign elections. Members of Russian President Vladimir Putin Inner Circle directed Russian companies to promote disinformation as a part of campaign to influence the 2024 election. The sites we are seizing today are filled with Russian government propaganda that have been created by the Kremlin to reduce international support for Ukraine, bolster pro-Russian policies and interests, and influence voters in the United States and other countries. The DOJ announced charges Wednesday against Russian nationals connected to an alleged scheme to influence U.S. audiences with content that included hiding Russian government messaging, court documents, whatever, fine, great, cool. Check this out, though. Watch this. Russia hiring influencers. Oh, this is a whole nother thing for the Russian influence operation. There's a post, I should have saved that. I was reading on my phone. There was a post that basically what Russia's doing is contacting influencers, so albeit in Russia or America, doesn't really matter, and getting them to say things to essentially get Trump in office. Okay. That's big, right? Because the whole thing in 2016 was Russia was involved, and everybody said, no, Trump won those votes legitimately.
No.
So do you think that Trump has anything to do with Russia promoting him being president?
Directly, I don't know. Could be. But overall, I don't. If it's an American company trying to sway you to the left, or it's a foreign country trying to swing you to the right.
It's Russian companies.
I'm saying from my point of view, both are equally even as bad. Just because Amazon is an American company doing it and Russia is leaning to the right to promote you that way, both should be illegal.
Oh, it's not even just Amazon. I mean, Google's doing it with with search results, and yeah, it's not just Amazon. It's all over the place. And I think that the technology, as it gets more and more advanced, we're going to see more and more of this. That is persuading the opinion of people, and I don't know how you stop that.
Yeah, it's just interesting to me that. So if the way I see it, what's most beneficial for Russia is a weak America, so they will push left more than right. That's the only thing.
They don't want Kamala Harris, and they want Trump because Trump and Vladimir Putin apparently have a good relationship.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Well, I mean, that's why they're trying to push the right-wing agenda.
Yeah,
I think they feel that Trump would go in there and kind of side with Russia. I think that's kind of the general consensus. You don't think Trump comes into office, he's not going to try to end that war between Russia and Ukraine?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
And who do you think he's going to side with, Russia or Ukraine? We're not asking our opinion of who should be the victor of this war. That's not what we're asking. We're asking, who do you think Trump is going to side with, or Russia?
I for one am gonna say that I truly believe him when he said his main focus would be a ceasefire on both sides, and he may be siding more with Russia, but I'm 100% when he gave that little speech, like, I want everyone to stop dying. I truly believed him that he hit at that point. Doesn't really matter. I need both sides to stop the fighting and the killing.
So then why would Russia, using that argument of what you just said, why would Russia want him into office if it's a ceasefire?
Yeah, that's from my point of view. If Russia wanted to influence your election, it would swing left.
Right, but it's like kind of proven that it is, right? If the Department of Justice has found these websites that are trying to persuade people to vote a certain type of way, and it's not just Americans, right? It's other countries as well, that it favors them. I gotta be careful. The way that I see it is, if people base their votes on what they read online. Let's go further. Let's assume that the 2016 election, that Russia was not founded to help at all. What if that was true? What if it was true and that Russia did in fact help? Does that not show that Trump does not have the support that he really, well, whether or not he thinks it, that it shows on paper is not real? This is huge, bro. This is huge.
Well, I'm in have a weird opinion about this because I'm not really that active on social media. I don't see how you would go from I'm really left leaning because now I'm reading posts online, I swing completely the other way and go to the right.
You don't
So
think
that
those
influencing
posts that
thing-
are online? Now, you saw that whole thing that I showed you with the Congress, right? How Facebook is only going to show you one side, right? Where I was showing you, well, we did that on Outside of Society, where Instagram and TikTok are only going to show you the one side. You're not going to see the other side because they know that that's not going to make you spend time on the site. You don't think that when you browse these websites and you see those opinions that they're all swaying in one direction?
100%, but
Because
it's
Facebook
usually
admitted this. Like, they admitted this. Okay.
But it's the way I see it. It's kind of the way YouTube or Spotify works. So if I'm really interested in already a more left-leaning thought, that will create a bubble, and now I'm in the bubble where I only experience the things that I want to experience.
What did Senator Kennedy say, though? What did he say? Is that only allows you to see half-truths, right? That only allows you to not see the other side. So basically what you know is lies.
Yeah, 100%. See, but there's no persuading you from one side to the other. So that right-wing influencer stuff to get more votes, though we're already people that are kind of on the fence.
What about your brain? Is your brain not, does your brain... Okay, forget what Facebook recommends you. Forget what YouTube recommends you or whatever. Does your brain not want to search the other part of the question like what I do? You just want to accept what you read. You just want to accept what you read as factual information, and that's the end of it.
I think for most people,
that is a very misinformed populace.
The problem is finding balanced news stories is very difficult.
Well, you don't need to find a balance. You're the balance. You find the one side, you find the other side, and kind of work out what's in between.
Yep.
You don't even have to play detective, bro. You read two stories and you figure out which one seems more plausible.
You guys have it, I would say, on average, you guys have it easier because it's more widespread. English is a lot of people speak it, so you can get a lot of resources. But thinking back to my own language, most of the news groups here, it's all owned by one group. So you don't have them. It's all the same stories.
Right, but again, I'm not talking about news. I'm talking about people just submitting articles. People showing pictures of Kamala Harris dressed in some stripper outfit in the middle of Hunts Point, New York. Not real. So many people sharing it that it's real. A quick Google search, bro. Like, a quick Google search on the lower half of her body. You don't even have to do anything. Just if you're on Chrome, you select that area. Google Lens it. Search image with Google Images, and it will pull up the actual chick's body. People don't even fucking do that. That is built into the browser, okay? But people are very quick to say, oh, Kamala Harris sucks dick. It's not fair, bro. It's not a fair assessment when you look at both sides of the house.
Yeah.
It's not.
I mean, there's There's a sure chance that Trump paid someone to do tickle on him, and there's a very good chance that Harris probably sucked a dick in her life. These people are not
there's a
saints.
post going around right now, bro. There's a post where Trump called Kamala Harris bitch like 50 times. What's wrong with that? What's the problem with that? Apparently that's a bad thing. Why is that a bad thing?
Huh.
Well, why is that? Because he called her a bitch? Is that unprofessional? Maybe she is a bitch.
True, but we've done the comparison with speeches in politics in general with 50 years ago and how those people presented their policies and their opinions and beliefs, and it was on a completely different level intellectually than they do now.
Of
It
course.
seems like
Yeah,
you're
now
watching
it's
a
bare
soap
bones. Yeah, it's bare bones circus act.
reality
Yeah,
reality show level.
it's just stupid. It's stupid at this point, and people eat it up.
Yeah, because they're a reflection of us, society. We get the leaders we want, and that's the pinnacle of us,
Well, that's good.
apparently.
That's good.
I wouldn't call it good. It's just the best we can do right now. That's it.
We're essentially down to name calling.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to the thing where Kamala Harris is, or not so much Kamala Harris, more the Democratic Party is trying to push their agenda through Google Ads and all these other avenues. Whether it is Amazon Alexa, I don't know. It could have been a glitch. It's not really important, but I just think that for that one side that I was showing there, people were like, "Oh my God, yes, they exposed her, so sweet." But then they don't look at the other side of what I showed about Trump with the Russian thing. Whether or not Trump had anything to do with it, there is something working in his favor aside from him for him being in office. For every one side, there's another side to the story. Right? And it might not be directly related. It's just people are so blindfolded because they don't want to see that part that they don't want to see. I think that's fascinating.
I think
it's also fascinating that you're relying on AI to tell you who to vote for.
That's very interesting.
You don't have your own opinion. You need it to be formed by an electronic device in your home. What?
Yeah. It's going to get a lot worse.
How? How can it get worse than this?
Well, at a certain point, it's going to be, I have this weird feeling in my stomach. Am I hungry, Alexa? Yes, you should probably eat. That's the level we'll go down to.
So there's this thing, where if you go back 4 years, no, 12 years prior to Trump, okay, maybe further back than 12 years. We'll go back to Obama. When you watch Obama's debate, okay, whether it's the first or the second one, when you watch the Obama debate, it's very factual. Now, I'm not a big fan of Obama. I'm not. He wasn't a bad president, but I don't think he was good. When you watch Bush's debate, it's very factual. There is some light name calling, it's extremely light. And then when you hear them now, that seems like that's all that they care about. Is how can I discredit this person by saying as much as negative things about their character than what they do? And then you want to attack, okay, well, she doesn't have policies out. Well, she does. You just haven't looked them up. Well, she hasn't spoken about it. Why does she need to? If her policies are that strong, why does she need to go speak about them? And if people are still voting on her based off of, but if people are still voting for her, regardless of what her policies are, I don't think the policies really matter, do they?
No, people don't care.
Okay, so it's just a popularity contest. That's what it is. Okay. All right. Well, that's good because I think nations' laws should be written based off of who is liked more. I think that's good. That's a step in the right direction. I like you a lot, so I know any decision you make is gonna be good. I got you.
That's
We're
what
in
it's
trouble.
come down to. Oh yeah,
We're in trouble.
but it's the modern day bread and games for the lower income households. It's to
And you
keep
guys
you
have this in your
occupied.
country too. You have this where news tries to persuade you in one direction, and you don't hear
Oh, yeah.
anything at all
Yes.
from the other direction.
Yeah, you
So then,
if
how
you
do you
want to
get
hear
the information from the other party?
social media. Basically, what you would need to go on YouTube. They have their own.
And how do those
news
people
channel.
get that information? Being in direct
have no
contact
idea.
with those parties?
No, it's the people that work in those parties that have their own YouTube channel.
Oh, it's not like some Tom, Dick, and Harry making.
No,
Oh. Well, that's interesting. But then how come the general public in Belgium doesn't care enough to make a stink to hear the other side?
well, they do get airtime. Like, so the party can't really work together to get a full majority in like parliament and federal government because there's a law against them. But they do get invited onto bigger news channels, but it's always the same rhetoric, like you're bad, you're racist, and the left
They
is
do the
way
same
to go.
thing there that they do here. The racist.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Exactly the same.
So, name calling.
Yeah. At this point,
Has
look,
the
we're
right
not at the
side-
same level.
Has the right side in Belgium ever been in office? Ever.
No.
Never. Ever. Since
No.
the formation of Belgium. You've never had a conservative foundation.
There's always been that law in place. And the problem, the thing that you guys have better than us is you only have 2, arguably 3 parties.
Right.
We have a lot. Way too many. So you have the illusion of choice, but there's a party that's just called Green. Its main goal is to stand up for the environment. Now, every other party also has a plan about about the environment. You just having a separated party.
How many options?
Just to focus on. What is it, Matthew? Anywhere between 8 to 10 different parties at least.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then they have to form what they call a coalition. So you have usually a government that's formed with 4 different ideas that kind of mix and match, and it's a bunch of compromises, and then you get a majority.
So then there's never one party that's in charge. It's a collaboration between multiple parties to be in charge.
Well, within that coalition, they kind of agree that's going to be the prime minister. He isn't in charge, but the party that within that coalition gets to appoint the prime minister.
Each individual party out of the 4 parties, let's say 4 parties, do they each get a say into who the prime minister is, or does one group get to pick the prime minister?
I'm gonna assume that it's usually the party that within that coalition has the most amount of votes that gets to pick.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. That's fascinating. Yeah, nothing like that here. Nothing. You have Republicans.
There's also some
independents don't matter.
Yeah. It's also been the case that they let a smaller party pick the prime minister, just as well. You decided to go in bed with us. Now we have the majority. As a thank you, we'll let you pick your prime minister.
And then how long does that prime minister stay in office for?
4 years.
Okay, and what happens after that 4 years? Can he get reelected back in?
It kind of depends if his party does well. Because if you
Has
just
that
lost
happened
a
in
bunch
Belgium
of,
where you've had the same prime minister for multiple sets?
yeah, that's happened before. Yep. And usually those people that get reelected, correct me if I'm wrong, Matthew, they usually go an even step further because then they get elected to do politics on the European level, which is way better pay.
Yeah, I think so. With our nation, right, we're very decided. It's either you pick this or you pick that, and if you pick this, the other side hates you for that, right? If you pick
Oh,
Kamala
yeah.
Harris, all the Trump people hate you. If you pick, Trump, then all the Kamala Harris people hate you. It's very two sided. It's either heads or tails. Yeah, there's the middle of the
Yep.
coin, but no one
Same
gives
here.
a shit about that. None. That it's irrelevant.
But it's the same here. I feel pushed in a certain corner, which I really don't want to be in. I think of myself as anything but racist. But nowadays, if you are nationalist, which for some reason has turned into a very racist word to begin
Same
with,
here. Same here.
which I do not understand. You putting your country and your own citizens before anyone else. That's not a racist point of view. That should be the base level for anything you decide. Your country first,
I
your
agree. I
countrymen
think you're
and
yes.
women first.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing here. Is people assume patriotism, which is linked to Trump, is a negative thing, and I don't quite see how that's negative. That you care about America and its soil. That's
Yep.
okay. I don't know about you, but that seems like the common ground that we all should agree on is you're in this country, so
Yeah.
you should support this country. But okay,
I'm the same way
it's negative
in the
now.
sense of I do not understand. For me, it's very black and white. Before you give a single dollar or euro to foreign aid, there has to be 0% of homelessness in your country. Everyone needs to be well fed, have a home, and have a job. Once that's done, you can take care of the rest of the world if you want to. If you have some money to spare, go ahead.
You don't think diplomatic relations are important?
That's the way I see it. I do. But before you can start helping out other people with their house or whatever stuff they need or food, you first need to fix your own house. So I see it the way like a plane, if a plane is going down, first get your own mess, then help the guy next to you. And it's the same way like countries should be run. If your country is close to being perfect, then you can decide to help out other countries.
Is that ever
Foreign
a thing, though?
policies?
Can you even
Never.
name a country that is in that position? I'm China's pretty damn close to that. But
China, probably.
yeah, aside from China, can you name another country that has all their affairs in order? That I would be interested if you were to look at every country in the world, all 228 of them, right? Which
Mhm.
one has the least amount of debt? It's got to be China, right? It has to be. It has
Yeah,
to be.
China.
So
China is
okay,
probably
let's.
doing real well.
This is tough using China as an example here. Oh, this is tough. Okay, so let's use China as an example. Do you think a lot of countries dislike China?
I don't think so.
You think that they all generally get along with China?
Well, get along. It's just I don't think it has anything to do with getting along. They're a necessity. You can't cut them out. You need them too much. We gave them that power. It's not of ooh, I
You don't
like
think
them
that power
or
could go
dislike them.
away?
Not in
No.
our lifetime.
Okay, all right, that's fine. So we'll use China then. So with all the, it's got to be China that the most countries owe money to. It has to be, because we're so much in debt. That's all that I could think of is it's got to be China. So if you look at China as a world power, and we'll call it that because it's what it is. With all the countries, you don't see Americans, you don't see Japan, you don't see any country, as a matter of fact, going to help out China with their pollution problems or going to help out China with their child slavery. They just kind of leave China alone because they're number one, right?
Yep.
Where's
correct.
China's position with Ukraine?
Oh, they've never ever publicized that. They just
Why?
don't speak out
Why?
because they don't need to. Nobody asks them questions.
Why?
on
Why
anything.
don't they ask them questions? I mean, you're
They're
a world
in
power,
such
right?
a power.
A lot of people owe you money. Like
Oh.
you got a lot of
Yeah.
money coming in and out of your country. No one.
And that's exactly why you don't get the tough questions. That's why it's going to be very difficult to find articles that put China in a different light. Because you can't talk shit. If everyone owes them
I
money.
think everybody knows, right? Like everybody knows, just general consensus that China's going to support Russia, but you don't see,
Oh, yeah.
you don't hear about, Chinese soldiers being over in Ukraine unless it's something that's just muted by the media. We don't see that. The point I'm trying to get is when you're a world power, which is what America is, right? Why are we the laughing stock of the fucking media? And then you have places like China where nobody's talking about.
Oh, because I think you're slowly giving up your position. You're in denial.
By what?
you're
By
so-
what? But what's the catalyst? Us making fun of presidents? That's where we're at? When you go look at media on the news, right? If you go look at American news, you're going to see a couple things. You're going to see some shooters, right? That's typical American. You're going to hear about some rednecks down in Alabama making some meth and shit. And then you're going to hear about fucking presidents. And you're going to hear more about presidents than you are any other news. However,
No.
when a president is president, you're still going to hear about presidents. There's no more news about a squirrel riding a surfboard in the pool. You know what I mean? There's no more news about that little kid that helped the cat get out of the tree down in Bumblebee Tuna, Alabama. You don't hear about that anymore. All you hear about is presidents and what or who did what. What the fuck happened, bro? And you could say social media. Okay, social media exists. Notice how Facebook and all them don't exist in China? They don't seem to have a problem.
No.
I mean, they got that
Because
QQ and shit, right? But they don't got Facebook. They don't even got Google, right?
True. I think there's benefits to that. If you expose, especially children at a young age, to certain things, it's gonna affect them in the long run. If you do it with a 20-year-old or a 30-year-old, they have more of a resilience built up, how to deal with stuff. Now we're giving kids that are 3-year-old an iPad so they won't bother their parents, and we're seeing the effects of it. We're gonna have in a couple of years,
Google is
you're
not-
gonna.
To Stan's comment inside the chat, Google is not available to mainland China since 2014. They
Yeah, they have their own version of it.
Yeah, they don't have a Google.
It's not Google.
No, it's not.
They have a Chinese
But if that
search
works, and that's a major power. This is what I'm getting at. So that's a major power. We all know that. They don't, and everybody seems to just leave them alone and just buy shit from them. Why can't America do that? Why do we worry about presidents and social media? And is it because we just have too much time in our hands? Is that it? You just don't know what to do with your time? So we just sit there and gossip like a bunch of high school girls?
Not too much freedom. That could be
I'm
it.
more into browsing Facebook and finding some chick face plant the highway while she's doing a wheelie than I am about Kamala Harris and Donald Trump winning election. Don't try to persuade my opinion. I think you should remove all political. I say censor the shit out of Facebook. And people are going to be like, I don't like
Or
censorship.
remove it.
First off, you not liking censorship is censorship. Let's just be clear here. If you say, I don't like censorship, then you're saying you do like censorship. Think about that. So I say cut it all out. Remove all the politics. Just make it where it's stupid shit. Girl posting pictures about, I don't want her. I'm going to pass this one over to you black guys. Black guys are like, sadly enough. You know what I'm talking about? The white chick that
Yes.
passed it to every race and nobody wanted her. Go back to those posts, man. Bring back MySpace. Like, bring it back. Put some music on your Facebook profile. Show your dick off for a little bit. It's like now,
That
bro, I
seems-
go on Facebook and it's all shit about presidents.
Yeah, probably that last effort to persuade any people that are still not convinced by either party to push that vote. I was surprised that the amount of people that actually voted in your country was that low.
100 million?
Yeah, on average, I looked it up. It was only 66% of your entire population that votes.
Yeah, that's about right. I mean, yeah, because when you look at Trump and Clinton, 55 and 53, so it's 100 million. You have to factor in kids and teenagers, right? They don't get to vote, so take a third away.
Yeah, but that's not going to be half of the population.
It's going to be at least a third.
Yeah, a third is accurate.
Yeah. You don't want to do it.
Make
where it's
that mandatory.
No. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Nope. You don't want to make it mandatory. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea because you got people listening to Siri or Alexa on who to vote for. You don't want that.
Yeah, but
You want people to
don't
make
you
up their own
think
decisions.
a lot of yeah, but don't you think a lot of really rich don't even bother? And it's those people that are usually gonna vote right wing. They don't bother. If you're that rich, okay, this country it doesn't align with my point of view. You're already in your own bubble, in your big mansion, so you really don't care about the outside world.
Yeah, they don't give a
And
shit.
if it gets bad, you just get on your private jet and you go to a different country. Problem solved. But if you make it mandatory and they are a U.S. citizen, you have to vote something. And I like to think that they will vote more conservative. Unless you're an artsy-fartsy
No, it's the
bro.
opposite. The opposite here. Here they vote more progressive than they do conservative. We went over.
But
this
don't you think
yesterday,
there's a
remember?
diff-
We have more people that vote for left than we do right. Popular opinion.
But then kind of depends how they got rich. I think, but that's just my opinion. If you're more like an artsy-fartsy and you got rich, so you think actor, music artist, they will then eventually go more left. But if you are a hardworking man and you build up your business and you have to go through all that heartache, I tend to believe you're going to go more conservative.
That's a good question. We might be persuaded that based off of what we see on social media. Robert De Niro with Trump, Dwayne The Rock Johnson with Biden, Cardi B with Biden. We may be persuaded subconsciously of that via what we see online. Do we actually know that? It'd be interesting. I should take my microphone. I should go over to Naples, Florida, which is one of, if not the most, per square mileage, some of the most expensive areas aside from like LA, right? You saw some of these houses, bro. 183 million, 210 million. Go talk to those people. Like, just hang out at a Publix, although they probably don't go to Publix. I don't know how you would do that, but maybe knock on it. That's soliciting. I don't know how you would do it. Sit outside their driveway and ask those people who they're voting for. Just ask them. Just like, non-biased. Who are you voting for? Trump. Why? Who are you voting for? Harris. Why? That's it. I'd be interested in that. Maybe that would counter what we know about, because we think that kids don't go out anymore, right? We think that based off of what we see online.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we know that's not true. We've seen it firsthand. Watch any of my e-bike videos. There's plenty of kids playing outside. You just don't see them online because no one's posting pictures of kids playing in a playground. That would be weird. So you don't see that, right? But it clearly happens. So maybe the celebrities that you see endorsing Biden or Harris are paid to do so. It's not that they really feel that way. They just give a nice little paycheck, and that makes you think that they support them. De Niro, on the other hand, I think he's made it very clear that he does not like Trump, regardless of money. He just doesn't like him because he was not a fan of the Bronx Tale. I don't know. I honestly, I don't know.
I want to address that one. Most rich people will vote right-wing. Tax evading is their sport, and the right facilitates that. So you have 8 years of Obama. That was a Democrat. He could have closed those loopholes. And you've already had 4 years of Biden. He could have closed those loopholes. I find it interesting that the left always go, well, the rich are trying to evade taxes. And it's usually the people like Obama's chick, I don't remember, Michelle, that has 70 million in assets. And then the other one is next to it is Oprah, that has even more money, screaming on the top of the lungs.
Very Democratic.
Yeah.
Very left-wing.
The rich are the problem. You are the rich. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You're not
No,
the
you're
poor
accurate.
people on the block.
You're accurate. I don't think it's a matter of left or right when it comes to evading taxes. Hillary Clinton did it, right? Like when Trump with the debate, oh, you evade taxes. Yeah, but so do you, right? Like everybody that has money is going to do it. It's not a matter of which side of the fence you're on. It's a matter of how do we stop it? And you would think that they would make ways to where you can't stop it, but you can't, because then that affects you. So I'm not going to write like people with term limits in Congress. They want to make it where they want to do that in Congress where do you want to address that comment? I saw the face you made.
Yeah, that's a level of denial one rarely sees, but sure. Okay, but you can't. Okay, on any level, left or right, I truly believe if a politician makes, on average, let's say, 5 times what the average income is of an average American or European, doesn't really matter. You can't represent me. You do not know the struggles I'm going through. That's the base level of being a representative of the people. If you make $500,000 a year, you do not have a slight clue of what the average American or European is going through. So you're not a representative.
Agree.
That's the Democrats. Look at Canadian politics. That's the same for Belgium. It's the left wing that want to raise taxes on the rich, but the rich.
In America, it's the Republicans that want to lower the taxes. It's Republicans. It's very well known. When Trump goes in, taxes of gas go down. Taxes of food goes down. Taxes of you okay? Jordan's getting pissed off.
No. I think I need to switch.
Okay. I don't hear you. Say something?
Hello.
There you go. I got you. Yeah. So when you look at the
Yep.
right wing, and I'm sure it's the same there, Republican Conservative Party is always going to be the one that wants to lower the taxes. And they do that not because of what they believe in. They just have this opinion, and I don't know if it's the right one, that lowering the taxes will attract more people. It's not the fact. As much as you may be giving, watch this, I'm going to break your mind. As much as you may be giving people tax breaks, they see money in the long run, right? Rich people will like that because they invest money in the long run. When you have a Democratic in office, they're going to give you cash right now. It's not long run. I'm going to raise your taxes and make you think that there's nothing I could do out of my hand, Biden, Kamala Harris, but yet I'm going to give you a $25,000 check to get a house. Either way, the left side is hurting you more than what the right side is. You just don't know how to manage your fucking money. That's the difference. And the right wing is the right way to go in that regard. That's not me trying to persuade you. That's just saying that one gives you money right now, the other one is giving you money over time.
Okay.
I would hardly consider myself rich, and I think a majority of Americans. I don't know where you're getting your information from, Moper. Where are you getting this from? Trump tax cuts are mainly for the rich. Middle and lower class got 1 year of cuts, followed by multiple years of raises. Where are you getting this from? Like what?
That's I have a basic question that will give us some insight. And I always find it fascinating that people agree with this. Are you in favor of taxing the rich more than other people?
You're asking Moper, right?
Oh, yeah. So you want that 100%.
Tax the rich more for being successful.
I do not agree with that. I am barely middle class, and the reason why I do not like that is, first, you're demotivating people to do well, but the second, most importantly, and that's more a centrist point of view, it doesn't involve left or right. Most governments, at least over here, are the most incompetent pieces of. If you would look at a government as a company, it should have been broke 20 years ago, and it should have been disbanded, and the assets should have been sold if it was a company, because they're run so bad, it's insane that it still exists. So pouring more money in a person or a company or a country that already has a very bad track record with handling money to begin with is not going to solve a problem. You need to look at efficiency first before you pour more money in it. I think it would solve anything.
Let me speak on this as far as being a millionaire, if you will. When I ran my businesses, right, multi-million-dollar company, and I could prove that if need be, multi-million-dollar company, the amount of money that I gave the government to employ those people that worked for me was astronomical. I could have made more money, but because of those taxes on running a business and employing people, that only hurt my bottom line. But it still gave them jobs. So why would you want to tax the people more that are giving other people jobs instead of them just leaving the country and creating their business somewhere else, like India? Why do you think major corporations go to places like India and Pakistan? Because, well, you're taxing us, so now I'm just going to bring the jobs outside. And now you're going to have no fucking jobs here. So that's how we're going to handle that. That's the result of you taxing rich. You're going to lose money. A lot of money. So, yes, sure. You know what? I say tax the rich. Yes. I say do it. Watch how that fails. Watch how it fails.
Yeah. Because you won't be able to track that money. That money will disappear.
Those rich people are smart, right? They didn't get to where they're at without being. You can never find me a millionaire and be like, that dude is dumb as a sack of rocks. No, he's not. He's smarter than you. Yeah, no, he worked and he did some shit with his dad. But he's rich, right? So we know that people that are dumb are not rich. Otherwise, we wouldn't have poverty. So using that ideology, I'm being serious. I'm not trying to be a smartass. If you were smart, you wouldn't be sitting in the hood selling crack on the corner, right? Like, you might be smart right now to make money, but you're not going to be smart in 5 years when you get locked up for the rest of your life. So what you do, and I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying that taxing the rich, okay? I don't even fall in that bracket anymore. I don't think it's not a viable, It's not a good source of income. Those people are going to leave. What happened to Elon Musk in California? People are not stupid, bro. I'm out. Bye. That's it. I'm not going to be in a state that's going to hurt me, and I'm not going to be in a country that's going to hurt me. I'll go over to China, I'll hang out with them, and I'll make chips and shit in China. Why do you think we outsource everything? Because taxes are too high to begin with. And if someone that has a lower threshold and if you make $30,000 a year, okay, let me tell you a little bit about America. If you make $30,000 a year, you're not going to pay 30%. You might pay, 30 grand, that's low. You might pay $4,000 in federal taxes. Might. Someone that makes, now $4,000, if you make $30,000, it's not that much, right? Now, if you make $1 million and you tax $500,000 of that, that's a huge chunk. Mm-hmm. That's a huge chunk. Which one would you rather be? The guy making $500,000 and getting taxed on half of that, or the guy making 30 grand just getting by and getting checks by the government? Those people are the ones where the votes matter, because those are the people in the impoverished areas. And when I'm saying impoverished, I'm saying lower middle class, poor, broke, homeless, whatever. You pick it. That's where I'm at with
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and if I know that if I continue to work harder and I have to pay more taxes, there's no incentive for me to continue to work harder. I'm going to balance out right now at $150,000 and do fuck all from June till December. Actually, fiscal year, so October. So February to October, I ain't doing shit. Not a damn thing.
And that's the problem we already face. I don't know in the US, but Matthew has pointed this out as well. If you do work and you go work, let's say 40 to 50 hours a week for a month, and the average difference between getting money from the government and you actually working is 300 euros, why would you waste that time? But those are all things that were put into place by left governments. Do I oppose a social security net when you fall in some rough times and you need the government to step in for like a month or two? You get another job? Sure, why not? But it can be that it's so stable that you now are more well off than actually getting the job. It still needs to be rewarded that you go out and work.
First off, I want to give a huge shout out to Mopo, right? I want to give a huge shout out to this guy for being abrasive and against the grain. I appreciate you, and I'm not saying that to be a smartass. I mean that because I like this, but I want to comment on that again. That successful entrepreneur will still be filthy rich after actually paying their fair rate. There's really no need to feel sorry for them. Okay. I'm sorry I'm singling everybody else, but you guys are all on our side. So I have to single out the one person that is whatever. I'm not trying to convince him. I'm just trying to get inside of his head. So using that statement you just said, we should punish the person or make it more fair for the person that is filthy rich. Would you not, is it not fair to agree that that person that got filthy rich by whatever they did, they have succeeded? Yes? So because of they succeeded and they know what they're doing, they should have to pay the same thing that you do. Why aren't you being successful as them? You could do the same thing they're doing, no?
But I don't see how how do you determine it's fair? Because fair would be across the board the same. You're now increasing the taxes on one specific group of people to a higher amount. I don't see that as fair to begin with. Yeah, it puts the same kind of pressure.
And even if that is true, I think that's still fair, Moper, that you realize that America is a capitalist country, right? Like that America is founded off of corporations. Look at John Rockefeller, man. I mean, that's kind of like the richest man ever, even in today's day, John Rockefeller. So, well, the Rockefeller brothers. But you look at them, and should they have to pay more than the guy that's broke? No, I don't. I don't think so. Why? Because he's giving them jobs. If he ain't doing shit, like if he ain't doing nothing and he's somehow a millionaire, I don't know how. I want the secrets. But if he's not doing anything and making money, I say tax him till he's fucking broke. But if he's providing jobs, security for people, I say give him the most amount of tax breaks. Not give him, don't give him less. You're just going to force him to move over to Thailand and make railroad tracks. None of us is in here in that group and never will be. I don't know what this group is you speak of. Just Google Jay Hayes' net worth. I think you'd be surprised. So yeah, I don't know about that. Just a quick little Google.
But then again, no, if that's true, nobody's stopping you to become more successful. So it's on you. I mean, I do not believe in this.
Not a billionaire.
No. But this whole, I think, when did this even start? It can't be that long ago, but suddenly it was this narrative of us against them, and it's the fault of the system that I'm not doing well. I don't know where that started, but it's not true. It's you.
Look at go back to the 1700s, 1800s, right? Go back, like tombstone shit, yeah? What type of people got the most amount of respect?
People,
the landowners, right?
Probably.
The business owners. Oh, yeah, God, you didn't fuck with them. You didn't fuck with the guy gambling at the OK Corral. Or you mess with the dude that is like some homeless guy. But you don't mess with the rich, but you don't play around with them. It's the same mentality goes for today. It's just that now we gave the lower people a voice where they don't appreciate what those successful people have done for this country. People don't look at that. Now, I'm not a big fan of Bill Gates. I am. That is a guy that I just don't like. But I don't think you should tax him more. Think about all the people he employs. Oh, I could one up that. You said teachers, nurses, garbage men, etc. Where are we without them? You left out one key factor that's more important than all of those jobs. All of those. And it gets paid less than all of those jobs. How about military, bro? How about, that's not in your bracket. Military gets paid less than all those jobs you just listed. And that wasn't even the first one on your mind.
That you have the freedom.
Go ahead, Jordan.
And those people are actually securing your right to complain in how as a bad country you're living in. If you're in fact in America,
the first job that came to his mind, right? First job that came to his mind was teachers, nurses, and garbage men. We could do without garbage men. We have technology. Nurses, adequate. Teachers, adequate. Garbage men are a useless job. Yeah, it's great. You pick up garbage, and it's a good job. You get paid good. But we as people could do more to where you can have a robot go around and pick it up and dump it in. I think we've all seen those garbage trucks. So that job is not a key job. Just putting it out there. Firemen, yes. Policemen, yes. Ambulance, absolutely. Important jobs. Military, number one on the list. Least paid job. Look it up. Look your Google up. But we don't pay them more. We should pay them more. They're protecting those freedoms that you have of that blanket that you like to lay under. Yeah, or that, Cody. You could pack up your truck, put your it's not a necessary job. It's not. But I think still that those companies or those private schools that are paying those teachers should still pay less taxes. I 100% agree. I don't think they should pay more. And of course, Trump has to go up there and say he's going to tax more because it doesn't look good when you say what I'm saying. So just keep this on record for when I run for president. At least I know I'll be supported by rich people. And honestly, that's all I care about. Because those are the people that make things happen. I'm just saying. I don't think... I am a big fan of democracy that I think majority rules. And if a majority says this is this, this is this. You can't debate that. Majority rules. I don't think minorities should have a say because you're not the ones providing jobs. Very, very.
And
Is
I
that
also don't
communism?
believe in that.
Is that communism? What is that? It's not
No,
capitalism.
you
I don't know what.
you redistribute the wealth over the lower incomes. That's socialism.
So you're saying what I'm doing is
That's
socialism.
socialism. No, what was your intent?
So I don't want to be taxed more. I want to be taxed less. Tax whoever you got to tax more because I'm providing those jobs. What economical structure is that?
Oh, that doesn't exist.
All right, what is it? Though? What would it be closest to? Communism?
Capitalism, right? That's capitalism. That's what's in place now.
Yeah, I'm
You
all
just
for
get-
that. Keep that up. If you don't like the job that you have here, go to Africa or go to the Middle East and go work. These are the structures, and this is the way that it's been since the 1800s.
And there's another thing that I just started realizing because I looked on the average household income for the U.S. It's higher than over here, and I saw that the average house now costs anywhere between 400,000 and up. That's the same price over here. Our average household income is way lower, so and we're still
but
buying
you guys
houses.
get paid less.
Oh, way less. Our average household, well, average income for one individual is 2,000 euros a month. That's on average.
And
Take
what
home.
is it for America? What's the average income in America?
Oh, I looked it up.
Was it 50,000, 60,000?
But that's annual. So,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about is annual
Yeah.
average income.
yeah.
It's probably 50, 60.
So,
But you have to keep in mind,
average
though-
annual will be 40.
But you have 1% of the population that's billionaires. That's going to highly skew the average income, right? Because if you have
Yes.
1 billion,
Yeah.
that's going to hurt that income dramatically. It's going to make that guy that's making $1 a year look like he's making 20 grand a year.
But you don't know if they have that actual income. Because if it's all stock and stuff, you're not getting paid
You don't think
directly.
there's anybody in
It's-
America that makes $1 billion a year? I can think of 2.
Directly?
Yes.
Like as a
Like in their
paycheck?
as a paycheck. This is what you make a year.
I think they're smart enough to not make that.
Okay, so you're talking about after taxes. No. I'm talking about they have at the end of a year $1 billion extra in their account.
Oh, yeah. Probably.
Jeff Bezos,
100% sure.
right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't. You can't debate that. Bill Gates. I don't know about Elon
Probably.
Musk anymore. I mean, those are 2 just off the top of my head.
The taxes are very high, and the healthcare is cheaper than yours. It's also of a different quality. Let's call it that. So, like the whole idea of, oh, my toothache. Okay, we'll squeeze you in like 2 months.
Okay, but Moper, America was never a democracy. You know that, right? When you look at the Constitution, there's no mention of democracy at all, and that word did exist during the Constitution. It came out in the 1500s. There's no mention of democracy anywhere in the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, anywhere. So what makes you think that word democracy in America? What gives you that impression? That you get to vote and pick a president? Well, apparently in 2016, the left wing said that those weren't real votes. And then in 2020, Trump said those weren't real votes. So throw that democracy out the window. So what gives you the impression that we are a democracy? It's a genuine question. We don't get to speak about laws. They get passed with or without our opinion. Congress makes that decision, so that democracy's out the window. Is it just because it's in the name that America's a democratic republic? I don't know where people got that from. I tried to figure this out yesterday. I got nowhere. I'll wait for your answer. I was talking about the fact that there's something between unbridled capitalism and socialism communism. I didn't mention the U.S. being a democracy or not. Well, you said, why does it have to be one or the other? Well, I don't know if you're American, but here in America, they like to pass labels on the people like it's. Well, I don't even know about America. I think in general, they like to pass labels on people. I was just genuinely asking as to what bracket for when I run for president or governor, I need to figure out what side of the law I'm on. Whether I am a socialist, a communist, a Marxist, a Republican, I need to figure out the direction, and better late than never. Yeah. Yeah, well, if you're a constitutionalist and you're a nationalist in America, you're racist. Just putting that out there. Let me get enough of money. I'll run for president. I do not think I will win. I think I'll lose more than an ear, too. But I'm going to go out like a champ. I bet you they won't miss with me. I bet you that. There'll be 6 snipers on my head. That's fine. I go out with a bang. I go down and my legacy is done. This guy never ran for president, but he would have been amazing. I would change a lot of things. Trust me. I'd have more executive orders in the first day than anything else. You don't want to do any public speeches? Not today. I got a whole bunch of documents to be written up. Union steel worker every 4 years, we had to negotiate and renew the contract with the company. Dutch, so I'm from an actual social democracy that is doing quite well. Is that accurate? Jorn? Netherlands?
That kind of, how do you measure doing well? Because if you look at your national debt, you wouldn't say you were doing really well.
Maybe. Well, he said it's got nothing to do with money. So,
everything has to do with money.
Well, I mean, earlier he said, hold on, he said something about money up there. He said, I don't judge success by net worth or something, or I don't remember where he said it. There's so much type in here.
Well, based on the outstanding debt you had, you wouldn't say economically that you were doing really well.
Economically.
On the other end, yeah.
He's saying economically. That's what he's talking about. They're doing good economically. But if you're in debt, that's not good economics. It's bad. Economically, it's money. It's the people, the what your country is as a whole.
Well, you only had a right-wing government for, I gonna say, less than a year. You can't really blame them for the debt you're in. Yeah, the Netherlands is also part of Europe, and they are all forced to give X amount of money into certain funds to give it to foreign aid. So, I mean, I've been to the Netherlands. It's nicer than Belgium. I'll give them that.
I think anything is nicer than Belgium, in all fairness.
Well, there's probably parts of Africa that we can beat.
I would not.
It's gonna be close.
I would not debate that. I'm sure that Belgium is better than Nigeria, if I had to take a pick, or Kenya.
But then
you don't have to worry about.
But then they have that nice weather, so.
I can see the toss up, but I want to be able to go outside and not worry about ran over by a fucking giraffe. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have to worry about a matriarch of a band of elephants storming through my little tiki bar on a beach. You know, it's not something.
Yeah, the chances of that happening over here are close to zero.
That's center right on the European scale, though I suppose you'd call that radical left in the U.S. I don't know much of Netherlands, so I can't really comment on it as to how their democracy is or how their economical. I know about America. I don't. You know, I'm guilty of one of those people that only care about what affects me, not other people. I'm sorry, not other countries.
Which makes sense.
Yeah,
I
but
think most people
I'm
do.
the one that advocates
If they're being
that you
honest.
should care about other people and not just yourself. But that being said, I don't mind being a hypocrite for it.
Yeah, but you can still extend that to other countries, women in this case, to your own group. I can see you extend that kind of empathy to all Americans, and that's where it ends. The same I feel about. I could care to a certain extent of other Belgians, but I do not care about what's happening in the Netherlands. Just doesn't affect me.
Yeah, I mean, it's an old saying, right? What's good for the goose isn't good for the gander. I don't know if you ever heard that. Just because it works for you doesn't mean it worked for us. You know, you have a highly populated area with a whole lot of billionaires here. You know, whether it's 1% of billionaires and 24% of millionaires, might be higher than that. So, but in America, they base it off of your net worth. If you were to sell everything, not necessarily what you have liquid. You know, yeah, I don't know. I think taxing rich people is going to get you absolutely nowhere. It's just going to force them to leave. That's it. And they're going to other countries like Andorra where I don't have to pay any taxes. I'm good. No extradition laws, no nothing. I'm just going to hang out in Andorra and have a mansion on the Alps. I think they have the Alps there. And just do my own thing.
But there's social and environmental. There's so many differences between countries that you can't just pick an idea and implement it somewhere else and just expect it to work. It doesn't. Different interests, different beliefs, different
religions. Yeah, you have less religion
and different views
you have
and
more
wants.
People. Well, yeah, also, it's very easy to pass judgment on something that you look at and say, "Wow, that's doing bad." But you also have to factor in your population. Right? Look at the population of China and India. Does India have a lot of power? Mm-hmm. Honestly, I don't think so. I think they got a lot of people.
I think it's kind of they don't have a lot of production as of yet, but there's a lot of things changing, and a lot of companies are moving their production to them. So, are we gonna see those effects in our lifetime? Hard to tell, but there's a lot of companies that are switching it over to them. So, in let's say 25 years or so, we don't know.
Look, if you want to raise the taxes, I say don't do it for the rich, do it for everybody. You want to make it fair, you do it across the board. That's the end of the story. That's it. That you want to raise the taxes, everybody gets raised. From the poor people all the way up to the rich. You'll make more money from the rich than you will the poor people, just because it's a baseline. But I do not say tax them more. And I do think that they should be taxed less because I want them to stay in this country and continue to make businesses and do shit. And if we have to give them tax breaks for them to stay here, then so be it. That's just they have to do the same thing with recycling, right? 5 cents back for this piece of metal. So there's no difference between you returning recycling for money. I'm sure. Do you guys do that in your country or no?
I'm not 100% sure.
Well, you could like take old cans and get 10 cents for it.
Well, yeah, we do it for glass. Netherlands are way
you
better
make money
at that.
from it is what I'm asking you. Like if you go around to garbages and take out 10 cans, can you do that?
No.
You can't do that.
Yes? How, Matthew? How?
You can go to people's garbages and take out cans and sell those cans. That's legal.
No, cans we can't, but I know you can do it when you do return glass bottles. And in the Netherlands, they actually recycle plastic. So if I would take this empty plastic bottle, and I return it just over the border, which is 50 minutes from me, you get cash. You get money
That you're
back from
saying
that.
you can. Ooh, that's good. What do
Huh.
I think about a national sales tax place of an in place of an income-based tax? Well, Lady Vet, one of the fantastic Mandolin, one of the fantastic things about being in Florida, there is no income tax. So my immediate argument to you is go to a state where there is no income tax. You don't have to worry about fuck all anything. So no, I do not agree with that. I think if you go to places like Tennessee, Florida, there's a couple states where you're not income based tax. So I don't think it would be fair for me because my state doesn't give a shit about how much income I make. I can make 300 million. I don't get. Florida gets none of that. They get it through sales tax. There's a thing called no tax reform where a couple presidents tried to implement this. I think Ted Cruz was the last one, where you just basically get rid of federal tax. Just get rid of it. It just doesn't exist anymore. You have more tolls on the road. You have companies that pay more taxes, but that doesn't work well because rich companies are like, yeah, no, I'm not. I don't want to do that. Again, this is tough because the only tax I pay is federal tax. That is a flat tax for me. And the less money I make, the good benefit is I hate that I make less money now, but that just means I pay less money at the end of the year. So, okay.
Yeah.
It kind of balances itself out. I don't know about that.
And pensioners?
I'd want to do a little bit more research on it. I know Florida makes a whole lot of money from sales tax. I know that. I don't know. I don't know about tourism. That's interesting. I'll look it up. It'll take me 2 seconds. But then you have places like Tennessee that don't have sales tax. Nope. Majority of Florida's revenue, I was right. 80% of it is generated by sales tax alone. Sales tax. It's because you have so many people here buying shit. So if you had more people in your shitty states, no offense, anything other than Florida, and I speak because I'm from those, just isolating everybody here. If you didn't have shitty states where you have to pay. Yeah, no, I don't think that's fair because there's plenty of states. I thought there's 5 states that don't have any sales tax, income tax, right? What states have no income tax? Alaska, Florida, Nevada. Nevada's nice. New Hampshire, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, and Wyoming. Move into one of those. Do not pick Wyoming or Washington. Those are shit. All right, Florida and Nevada, which are 2 that I was looking at. So I wouldn't do New Hampshire either, unless, of course, you want to sleep next to lobsters. It's ice cold up there and terrible. Tennessee's not bad, especially if you like whiskey. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think taxing everybody for the sake of everybody else is fair.
No.
I mean, I'm in Florida.
No.
Again, I'm in that bracket where it sucks for you that you have to pay income tax. I want you to just factor in for a minute, just for a minute. My second year at Vape Life, I cleared $4.1 million. You can imagine the taxes I had to pay. And I did not have a CPA. So, yeah. I don't know what Jersey did with that because I still have potholes on the way to work. I don't know what they did. I don't know what
give
they
it
did
away
with that money. I have no idea. But I wish I was in Florida. I can tell you that much. Perfect place to create a business. Florida. A bunch of old people that have disposable income. Do it. Well, what if you make the most of your money by using public infrastructure? Like buses and shit. I think you got it made then. I think you got it made. See, we don't have that luxury unless you're like in like one of the major cities. We don't have that luxury of getting on a bus and then going to work. We have so many isolated areas that would never work here. Again, even answering that, roads, bridges, and postal services, I can't tell you how many places in America don't have either of those. Postal services, you kind of have to. I mean, that goes back to 1700s, but roads and bridges, yeah. Dirt roads.
And
I think
that's
America's
why, on
built up.
average, the taxes are higher in European countries because
Yeah,
you have
that's
all
probably,
that.
yeah, because you guys got the VAT tax. We don't have that. You know, everybody's got to pay for that. That's your VAT tax is, well, no, it's not like a federal tax. That's the only thing I can compare your VAT tax to is our sales tax. It's the
Yep.
only thing.
That's accurate.
But then you have sales tax too, right? If you go buy something that's $5 at the grocery store, do you pay $5 for it, or you pay $5.50?
Yeah, 21% on average. Yeah,
21% of what? That's sales tax?
that goes on top of that. Yeah. So 5 and then
But
plus
if I
21%.
send you something, right, from America to Belgium, you have to pay a VAT tax on that.
Yeah, I
Based off of
do
what?
a cut based on the value you give it.
What if it has no value?
21%. They do the base. And if you do not put a value on it, they probably open the package, look what it is, start looking online what it would cost, and then put a value on it. Either way, you're paying.
How do you
some
get
kind
out of
tax.
VAT tax in Belgium?
There is a way.
There has to be a way to have VAT exemption. There has to be.
Yeah, do not be a Belgian citizen.
No. There is 100% a way to get out of VAT tax. Whether that's a business or a nonprofit or
Well, even as a business, let's say you're sending something to me and it's for my business. I wouldn't be paying the tax on it. But once I sell what you gave me, then one way or another, the government will come after that 21% that I need to collect and give to them.
And that's on everything. It could be food, clothes, electronics. There's nothing that does not have VAT tax, correct? Nothing.
No, yeah.
Toothpaste, toothbrush, toothpicks, Q-tips.
Yes.
Dildos.
Especially Q-tips. Yes.
Really? Okay, so your VAT tax is essentially our sales tax. But so the question is you're only taxed on it one time, right? So you have a business. You buy all this stuff from America. It's shipped over to you. You put it into your store, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Once it's in your store, you sell it. You collect VAT on that, correct?
Correct.
Now, you take that VAT, don't put it into your bank account. You put it into a separate account because you have to pay Belgium for it, right? Or the European Union.
Yes.
What do you pay? Okay. So you pay one of those.
Belgium.
What do you pay? Belgium. And then Belgium probably pays the European Union the VAT tax, yeah?
No. Fortunately, the European Union, as it is right now, does not force countries yet to pay a tax. They've been pushing that really hard, but then it would be separate. So you would pay a Belgium tax, that's the 21%, and on top of that, a European tax. They're pushing for that. Fortunately, it hasn't come to terms yet.
So I don't think you guys should pay a VAT tax. I think you guys should pay a sales tax. And you're saying it's 21%? Should be 7%.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Well, I understand it doesn't happen. Well, then stop wasting money on helping other fucking countries. Take that money. Look at Florida. Take that money that you get, okay, and then use that for your country. That's what you need to do. Because now you have everybody paying. Because if there's no exceptions on anything, whether it's clothes, food, if it's anything that you buy, that is unacceptable. There has to be exceptions in there. There has to be. Just like if you go buy clothes in New Jersey, people would all come from New York to buy clothes from Jersey. You know why? Because there's no sales tax on it. Now, if you go buy clothes in New York, there's sales tax. So where do you go? You just do 10 minutes down the road. You're in Jersey. You buy the clothes. You go back to New York. Now, that is obviously designated for each state, which would be in the European Union, each country. If Belgium has Brussels and Antwerp, right? Tourism area, time of the year, you got Americans coming there, bump your sales tax up to 12% for all people not from America, not from Belgium. Fix your VAT tax. Everybody benefits. Oh, you don't want to do that, though. You want to tap it from everybody. So,
if you
that's
think about it,
interesting
it
that
is
someone-
more
hold on,
fair.
Hold on. That's interesting that someone that is getting taxed wants the rich to get taxed more, when in reality, you should be taxed less. You're firing in the wrong direction. You're down the range at a different. You're firing a different weapon.
Oh,
Do you get what I'm saying?
100%.
You
Yeah, 100%.
don't worry about the rich people. Worry about how much you're getting taxed. Don't worry about how much Jackie over there is.
But that's what they use. The same way they use that argument in the States is exactly the same argument over here. You could be living a way better life if only those pesky millionaires would pay their fair tax. It's not going to happen. It's going to, even if they implement that, they will find a way to spend that money in the wrong
They're
way.
going to leave. Even
Also
if
that.
they're going to find ways around it, right? They've been doing this for hundreds of years, right? Rockefeller had more than GDP. So they know what they're doing, right? You start taxing them, I'm going to find more ways around it. If not, I'm out. I'll go buy an island. Epstein did it. You saw how that turned.